What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com. We're going to talk some picks, previews, and predictions here for the Kansas City Chiefs, your favorite to win the Super Bowl here in 2021. Over here at The Lines, you head to the homepage, and when you click on this little NFL tab up here, it'll take you to this page, and then this is all of our betting guides that are absolutely free. While you're doing that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up on this thing, and then let us know in the comment section what you think about this Chiefs team and how you think you're going to go about betting them. Andy Reid in his 9th season for this team. Eric Bieniemy returns to run the offense. Steve Spagnuolo returns to run the defense. Offensive line woes got exposed in the Super Bowl. So what did they do? After Patrick Mahomes gets sacked 3 times, gets hit 10 times, they go out and they redo the offensive line. In free agency, guard Joe Thuney comes in. Defensive tackle Jerron Reed. Re-signed right tackle Mike Rimmers. They signed Daniel Sorensen, a safety, to bring in. They traded for offensive tackle Orlando Brown. They got 2 other offensive linemen back from opt-outs as well. So this is a completely revamped offensive line for Patrick Mahomes. In the draft, linebacker Nick Bolton in the 2nd round. They took a center in Creed Humphrey in the 2nd round as well. They took a defensive end, Joshua Kando, in the 4th round. Tight end Noah Gray in the 5th, and they took a wide receiver, Cornell Powell, in the 5th. Now, in the 6th round, they took a guard, Trey Smith. He's a multi-year starter at Tennessee, and he actually had a much higher grade on him, but he had some health concerns regarding some blood clots in his lungs that really had his stock plummet. But this guy was like more graded as a 2nd or 3rd round guy that they ended up getting in the 6th round here. And again, on that offensive line, could end up being a pretty big contributor for them. And as I mentioned, as you see right here, Kansas City Chiefs 5-1 to win the whole thing. Yes, that is to win the Super Bowl. Only 5-1. Last year, they were the number 2 offense DVOA, number 22 defense DVOA. Football Outsider gives them a mean projection of 10.5 wins. Only 10.5 wins, right? They do have them winning the Super Bowl, though, 9.2% of the time. ESPN has them as the number 2 roster in the NFL heading into this season after they revamped that offensive line. Warren Sharp over at Sharp Football has the Chiefs, harder than average schedule, kind of like 13th hardest, but not like a killer schedule. He actually has them forecasted for 12.5 wins. And you can see, as of right now, they are sitting at 12.5 wins. That said, the under is juiced to 130. So if you think that this team can get to 13 wins, and remember, 17 games this year, so it would be 13-4, you can actually get a little bit of plus money on that. Pro Football Focus has them power ranked as the number 1 team heading into the season. 14% chance to win the Super Bowl, according to Pro Football Focus. They have them at 11.7 wins. So 2 of the projection systems have them under that 12.5, and then Warren Sharp has them right on this 12.5. As I mentioned, revamped offensive line for this team. So with that, you can see, to make the playoffs, this is just ridiculous. 10-1. You have to lay 1,000 to win 100 for them to win the playoffs. But they got rid of Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, and they go in, like I mentioned. Orlando Brown comes in. Mike Rimmers, Joe Thuney, Kyle Long, unretired. He's hurt, but we'll see what happens there. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, if you remember, opted out last year to go be a doctor, but he's back. They took that 2nd rounder, Creed Humphrey, that I'm talking about. So this should be a pretty good offensive line for Patrick Mahomes to throw behind. Defensive line, a little bit different story. 22nd ranked defensive line. And, look, when we take a look at this schedule for them, not really a murderer's row as far as offenses they're going up against, but certainly at the beginning of the season, they start out Browns, Ravens, Chargers. It's not going to be, and then, maybe a bye week here essentially against the Eagles, but then the Bills. So 4 of their first 5 games, this Chiefs team, it's not just skating to easy wins here by any stretch of the imagination. This defensive line, look, Chris Jones has been fantastic. He has a pass rushing grade of at least 90 over at Pro Football Focus each of the last 3 years. Only Aaron Donald is the person, anyone in the league that has had that grade that high for that many years in a row. But, Frank Clark has been a pretty flat, right? Just a guy that has not lived up to that big contract that they gave him. He's gotten Pro Football Focus grades of 63 and 54 the last 2 seasons. They did sign Jerron Reed, so he should be able to step in and help out. He had 9 sacks last year, so he knows how to get to the quarterback. But you can see, if this defensive line doesn't step up, you got the Browns with a much improved offense. You got the Ravens. We know what they can do. The Chargers in year 2 of Justin Herbert. And then you got the Bills, who are going to be one of the most high-powered offenses in the league as well. So, I mean, this is not easy to start this year for this team. Now, if you look over here, the offense, and as you would imagine, most valuable player, the short shot, Patrick Mahomes, 5-1 again, 5-1 for Patrick Mahomes to win the MVP. And I'm not so sure that isn't, if that isn't exactly priced right, at the end of the day. 17 games for this guy who's going to be throwing all over the place. Look, they led the league in RPO calls last year. They ran RPOs 20% of the time. Nobody else even ran them more than 14% of the time. Chiefs had a 37% DVOA against 4 pass rushers and an 81% DVOA against 5 or more. He's just so incredibly good, Patrick Mahomes. Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, going to be battling for those other receiver spots now they let Sammy Watkins go, but it's still Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and then whether it's Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, or whoever else, this offense is still going to be high flying. And so it wouldn't surprise me if Patrick Mahomes, even at this price, is still a good buy here at 5-1 at most valuable player. I think the most interesting thing here is looking at this schedule and trying to figure out how they're going to run in this first 5 games right here. And then listen, Washington and Tennessee. Washington's going to be no pushover either because of that defense that they've got. And, of course, Tennessee on the offensive side adds Julio Jones. And so the beginning of this schedule here for this Chiefs team is certainly not easy. And with the team that's sitting with a 12.5 win total, it is a little bit juiced to the under. I'm just wondering if a 12-5 season isn't kind of what we're looking at here for this Chiefs team. Something to think about as you go betting this team. Guys, full betting breakdown over here at the lines, absolutely free. And check out everything that we're doing over there at the lines and play picks, absolutely free as well. As always, guys, hit that subscribe button here. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and then let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Patrick Mahomes for MVP, that win total over or under 12.5. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. So the 10-1, if you got that type of bankroll, good for you. I'm not locking up $1,000 for 6 months for them to make the playoffs. Just not going to happen, just only to win 100. So that's really not a bet for me, but Mahomes 5-1 MVP. Think he's going to be right there in the mix for sure, and something that I'm going to be looking at as we head into the season. Good luck on all your bets here in 2021.